Well, for years, the prenuptial contract has allowed men and women to hedge their matrimonial bets before waltzing down the aisle together in bliss. But is there a way for couples who are already married to do the same thing? In the second part of our series, When the Honeymoon's Over, ABC's Ryan Owens tells us about the increasingly popular post-nup agreement.
First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a post-nuptial agreement? For more and more couples these days, the new must-have isn't an exotic honeymoon or a fancy wedding gift. It's a post-nup.
What's that?
It's called a post-nuptial agreement.
You don't trust me?
A post-nup is similar to a prenuptial agreement, except it's negotiated after the wedding.
One of the myths about a post-nuptial agreement is that it's all about I keep everything and I don't share anything with you. And a post-nuptial agreement has to be a fair agreement where both sides receive a benefit.
And those benefits can be pretty creative.
How to divide cemetery plots, agreements as to custody or visitation of pets, agreements as to whether or not to have children and how many.
One of the pioneers of the post-nup is Donald Trump.
He had a prenuptial agreement with Ivana in 1977. He adjusted the agreement 3 times during the marriage, and this led to the ultimate enforcement of the postnuptial agreement.
But you don't have to have his kind of wealth to get one. When Ed Bonfield and Emmy Zuckerman married 8 years ago, they chose not to sign a prenup before saying I do.
I really trusted Ed, and we trusted each other. And I think we had an understanding that we weren't going to do anything other than keep our own if anything did happen. So to me, I didn't feel I needed a prenup for that reason.
But 2 years into the marriage, Emmy became concerned about the future security of her 2 children from a previous marriage. One has special needs. She proposed a postnup to protect them.
Say that's right.
That's right.
Particularly with Holly's autism, it's critical to me to just preserve as much of my assets as possible because I don't know what her needs will be to take care of her for the rest of her life.
Ed also has kids from a prior marriage and agreed a postnup was the way to go.
I think that anyone should get a postnup as long as they have something that they need to protect.
Some worry even mentioning a postnup to their spouse would send the wrong message, suggest that the marriage is on the rocks. That's not how Ed and Emmy see it.
Well, I think the wonderful thing is it wasn't because I didn't think we were in love. You know, I think we always will be. And what I think is significant is that a postnup isn't because a marriage is in trouble. I don't anticipate divorcing. I didn't then and I don't now.
But a reality check here. Half of all marriages do end in divorce, and the postnup can make dividing up your assets a whole lot easier. We should point out this is awfully expensive. Each spouse needs his or her own attorney, so the bill can be $25,000 bill, which is why the attorneys like it so much.
Exactly, yes. And it's so romantic.
Isn't it?
Bringing this up, I mean, you could do a whole segment just on the emotional rigors of that. Any advice?
So you want me to tell you how to do that without getting in the doghouse for a month at a time? Well, here's the deal. Basically, money is the #1 reason a lot of couples fight anyway, so a lot of people are in marriage counseling or have a financial advisor. Bringing it up with that person in the room, sort of to divert attention a little bit, is the advice I have. No promises.
Honey, my lawyer wants to talk to you. Hang on.
That's right.
I'll be in the garage. Thanks, Ryan.